Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. On today's show, should the Giants break the bank for Odell Beckham Jr.? Plus, D'Angelo Hall explains why Des Bryant shouldn't turn down a shot to join the Browns. And could LeBron's streak of 13 straight playoff appearances come to an end this season? Skip, Shannon, let's get to it.
Well, the Giants and Odell Beckham Jr. have been unable to agree on a contract extension for a couple years now, but yesterday, NFL Network's Ian Rappaport tweeted that Beckham's agent has been in New York negotiating a deal that would make Odell the highest paid receiver in the league. That would indicate he'd make more than Antonio Brown's $17 million per year. Rappaport added that both sides are encouraged a deal could be done before the season starts. We're joined by former Pro Bowl corner D'Angelo Hall. Thank you for joining us again. I'm going to start with you on this one. Should Odell be the highest paid receiver in the NFL?
Absolutely, I think he should be. You know, sometimes it's not necessarily that he is the best receiver in the, in the National Football League. It's timing. You know, was Kirk Cousins the best quarterback?
Nope.
Absolutely not. But it comes with timing, and right now the timing is he should overlap those guys. You look at the next couple guys who had just got paid, Mike Evans, DeAndre Hopkins. Is he better than those guys? I think so.
Sometimes.
I think so.
He's
consistent. You just don't like.
He want him on the Cowboys. I bet he take him on the Cowboys.
Yeah, absolutely take him.
Would you take him on the Cowboys, Skip?
Well, that's a hypothetical.
I know. Okay, give me a hypothetical answer.
I'm not going to, because it's not possible.
The thing with Odell, he just has to mature.
Right.
And we all were in that situation when we were young kids. We did some things, that now looking back on, we would never have done.
Right.
But I love the energy this guy plays with, the passion. He's a guy that I would have loved to have on my football team because I know he gives me a chance to win every time he touches the ball. Does he need to rein it in a little bit? Yeah, but that comes with maturity, and that comes with, I think, those guys in that locker room really just putting an arm around him and, and loving them up and showing them right from wrong. And so I'll take this kid on my team any day of the week, and I absolutely think he will be the highest paid receiver.
Who in that locker room is capable of loving him up and teaching him right from wrong? Who? Is there a Shannon Sharpe in there? No. Is there a Ray Lewis in there? I don't see one. I could be wrong. Is there a Suggs? Is there an Ed Reed? I don't see him. I don't know.
That's the problem in today's NFL. They push a lot of the old guys out because of salary cap. We thought the CBA was going to kind of help rectify that. It didn't.
That was a lie they told.
That was a lie they told.
Didn't do that. And so there's not a lot of those veteran leaders who can pull a guy like that aside, who've been down that road. And so, that's the Giants locker room that they need to handle. You would think Eli would, but I just don't know if that dynamic probably isn't the best situation for him pulling them aside because I don't see Eli doing that as well. But talent-wise, absolutely.
Yeah, that's it. That's how it works, Skip. I mean, one guy gets his money. I mean, AB was the highest paid, and then here come Mike Evans, gets $55 million guaranteed. Now it's Odell's turn, and next year it's going to be someone else's turn. That's just the way it works. He's proven. You look at his numbers, and he missed, 13, 14 games last year, and he's still like second, since he's been in the league, he's second in receiving touchdowns. He's a touchdown maker. He's big play. He has big play potential anytime he touches the ball from any area on the field. He's great run after the catch. Catching the ball, you can throw in small windows, 50-50 balls. At his size, the way he can catch 50-50 balls, you would think he's 6'4", 6'5". Dude's about 6 foot, 6 foot tall, 6'1", tops.
I think he's 6 foot. I agree.
Tops.
I don't think
But
he's
50-50 ball, he can high point the ball. Technically, he's fundamentally sound. There's not a route he can't run.
No doubt.
Speed out, dig,
No
come back,
doubt.
shake route. I mean, you set it up perfectly.
Maybe the greatest pair of hands I've ever seen. Ever.
I wouldn't go that far.
I don't know.
But he does have
name,
some great hands.
Can you think?
Larry Fitzgerald.
Larry Fitzgerald.
Oh, no. Odell's got
Randy Moss.
Chris
circus
Carter.
Carter.
I take Chris Carter. I take CC's hands.
I'm talking about circus catch hands, where you can pull things off. The great Chris Carter caught everything in his radius.
Can you imagine?
Circus catch?
Yeah, circus catch. He puts on the greatest pregame show I have ever seen. I would pay just to watch the pregame. I would.
But you could understand this, D-Hall, is that when you got in the league, the glove was not as tactified as they are now. Okay. You throw the ball over there and stick your hand up over here, you can catch the ball.
I think you just invented a word, tactified. I like it. I know exactly what it means.
Catching today's NFL with these gloves, man, I'll tell you what, you shouldn't be playing receiver.
But Skip, he's a special talent. And I think the thing is, look, if the Giants could deal with LT And what he was like off the field, this guy's a breeze. This guy's a breeze here, Skip Bayless.
LT ran that locker room. When it was time to play, everybody followed LT into battle.
Yes.
And he didn't just win the battle, he took over the battle. He dominated the battle.
Oh, he's special.
He was unblockable.
He was.
He was invincible when it was time to play.
Yes.
Did he have his issues? Yes, he did.
Yes.
But they didn't factor in. He was never a sideshow. He was never a net-destroying distraction on the sideline. He never got into some personal war with somebody on the other side, like Josh Norman and Odell did.
But you couldn't insult somebody like they did him. Can you imagine if somebody had said that to LT, what would have happened on the field? Skip, you know back then they fought.
Well, nobody would have even dared.
Exactly. They fought for real. Back then they fought for real.
Like Josh and some of the other Carolina Panthers insulted Odell.
They fought for real back then in the 80s and the early 90s.
Fought for real. So, look, I'm just happy. I'm a Cowboy fan, and I don't have this problem because this is the classic Odell Beckham Jr. trap that they have fallen into. And I don't know how to get out of it because you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. Damned if you do because if you give him, what did you say, like 60, 70 million guaranteed?
50, Mike Evans got 55.
If you make him the highest paid player on your team, just on your team, after he's made a statement, he wants to be the highest paid player in all the game, quarterbacks included, defensive. Yeah, well, that's what he wants because Odell envisions himself as more of a celebrity than a football player. He doesn't love the label of just football player.
Right.
He wants to transcend. He wants to be Drake because he runs with Drake, hangs with him. He wants to be that caliber of a celebrity, and he's got potential. I think he's got a great personality. He's a good-looking kid. He's got all that package going off the field. But intangibly, do I trust him? Would I want to bet $70 million guaranteed on this? Because I don't trust any of the intangibles. They're trying to sell him as a leader.
You're going to be a leader.
Seriously?
Skip, he's 25. Let me ask you this. You say you don't know if he's worth it. Let me ask you this. At his best and Dez Bryant at his best, who's a better receiver? Because he gave Dez $14 million back 4 years ago.
You know, we talk about having that dog in you. When Dez was right, 2013, 2014, he had more dog in him than Odell does.
Oh, I disagree.
And even at his best, he couldn't touch this guy.
Nah, not even close.
Hey.
Not even close.
He would go up and snatch balls. You fought with him a few times.
I have.
Yeah.
I have.
And he fought with this other guy, this
I
13.
fought with this one too.
Skip,
Maybe it was because I was a little bit older.
I think you were a whole lot
got a little bit more dog than me, without a doubt.
Boy, I don't see
the quick Skip, the thing that
this guy can be so easily distracted. You can get in his head. You can get in his
Not
ear.
anymore.
And you could get in Dez's head too. I mean, so that comparison, you're just so biased to your Cowboys.
I'm not.
It won't
Hey,
let you
am I
see
not
clear.
out on Dez Bryant?
Yeah, you out on
I'm
Dez
all the
Bryant.
way out. He's all the way down on me, and I don't care because you have to perform to your contract,
Yeah,
and he
right.
did not. He deserved whatever he got, 50 million. I don't know if
He
it's
got like
guaranteed.
45.
Yeah,
45
he
guaranteed,
deserved
70.
it after 2014 because I could make a case, and so did he. He was the best receiver in football through that year, and that was a catch in Green Bay,
No,
and
it
they
wasn't
should have
catch.
won that game. That was a dog catch, man. That's where you just say, I will will myself to go up
Well, I mean,
over Sam Shields and I will snatch this
But see,
ball
you
out
get-
of the
But
sky.
here's the thing. This is why I always caught the ball the first time. You only get one catch. So you
caught
bobbing,
it.
that's not 5 catches.
He
with one
caught
catch.
it, he put it under his arm, and then he tried to slam it on the goal line. Except
Odell.
he's left-handed, and he tried to slam it left-handed.
If that had been Odell to reach cross with one hand, backhanded. You seen him make these catches,
I've
Skip
seen him
Bayless.
drop big ones, too.
Don't do that, Skip. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Okay, do I need to remind everybody that just 5 months ago, somehow this video hit the internet in which Odell Beckham Jr. was somehow in a hotel room in Paris
Eating pizza.
with an Instagram model, and there's a pizza, and there's a credit card, and there's all this white powder. I don't know what, talcum powder, I guess, right?
Yep, baby powder.
They're all, they need some baby
Yeah.
powder. I don't know, maybe that
Humid
got
over there in
massages.
France.
I don't know. I have no idea.
It was humid in
It was
France that
humid.
time. Yep.
They needed some talcum powder.
You get dressed to go out on the
that's
town.
the guy you're going to give $70 million guaranteed to. And do I need to remind you that he's played in one playoff game in his whole life, in his whole career? This is his 5th year. And before that playoff game, he led a group of Giants receivers to South Beach to sun on a yacht to get ready for a game up on the frozen tundra the next Sunday in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Really? That's leadership? That's so wrong.
He's 25. You
Do you remember what happened the first play, the
Yeah,
first
yeah.
series of the game? He dropped a big
the
third
third
down. It hits him
down.
right in the hands because he was cold.
Skip.
He was just cold.
He does need to mature.
Okay.
I think we're
We all
in
agree
agreement
yes.
at this table that he does need to mature. But talent, and just win.
Productivity.
Now that it's time to get paid, now that his time is now, should he be? Absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, it's not even close.
If you're the GM of that team, are you not going to close your eyes when you're signing this deal?
I'm not going to close my eyes, but I am going. We are going to sit down and we're going to conversate like men,
Yes,
and I'm going to let him know what I expect of him.
And you know what? Those words are going to go in one ear and
right
out the other.
They might. But I have to say them. I have to say them to him and look him in his eyes and feel like he's on the same page as me.
Yeah.
And I think as an organization, I mean, we say he's not a leader, but him and Saquon, I think, have developed a little bit of a relationship. 2 stars. And, you know,
now, if I could
force
pour Saquon into that kid, I'd have all time.
He's going to have the C on his jersey.
Yeah, I think he will, too.
The C.
Good.
You think
I'm going to have a C on my jersey for Cowboys.
Yeah.
Right.
for the Cowboys?
You gonna have a 6 and 10.
Yeah. I'm going to have a 10 and 6, and you know.
-10.
And we're going to beat these guys twice because they're going to be way overrated.
If this contract happens, though, I sure hope he lives up to it.
No mercy.
So Des Bryant is still unsigned, but the Browns reportedly remain interested. NFL Network reported that Des is in a, quote, holding pattern and has not taken a visit to Cleveland. Apparently, he wants a 1-year, prove-it deal with a contender, which the Browns are not. We're joined still by D'Angelo Hall. When you think about Des and where he should go, the options right now are limited. Should he want to go to the Browns?
I think Des Bryant should want to go wherever a team wants him at. You know, Des has always been one of those guys who's been a star off the field and on the field. I think he needs to go somewhere where he's not the center of attention. And I think because of everything Cleveland's doing, revamping that team, I don't think he would be as big of a distraction. You know, you got Josh Gordon and his problems. He's coming back from that. The whole Baker Mayfield and Tyrod Taylor, who's going to win that quarterback battle. Jarvis Landry's coming over from Miami, so he's the guy. And so they have a lot of playmakers on that football team. And so for Des, he can just go and be another guy. He doesn't have to be the guy. And I think it's a great situation for him. He gets a coach in Hugh Jackson who's known for being around receivers who had big personalities and came with a little stuff. I think he even had T.O.T. later part of his career. And so, you know, I think this is a great situation for Des. But it comes down to, does Des want to be in this place? And I think I've read, you know, where Cleveland feels as though Des does not want to be a part of them. And, you know, as an organization, when you feel like, you know, a guy doesn't want to be a part of your organization, you tend to not want to sign him. And so I don't think he'll end up in Cleveland, but I sure would like to see him down there playing some good football with a team that I think is on the rise.
Yep.
I agree with everything you just said. I think he should want to play for the Browns because the Browns seem to want him. Des needs to get on the field. The closer and closer he gets to the season, the harder and harder it is. He needs this time because once the season starts, the game plan changes every week. So there's not a whole lot of carryover. Now this is the time where you get the foundation, you get the knowledge of the system. Des was, and what's going to happen, Skip, is that when you get guys coming from a different team, they want you to learn multiple positions all at once. Yeah. So you need to learn the Z, the slot, and the X. Well, that's really never, Des didn't really do that when he was in Dallas and he was in that system for an extended period of time. Now you're going to a different system and they're going to be asking you to do these things while being Des Bryant. He says he wants to go to a contender. It's going to be hard for me to believe that a contending team, barring significant injury, given his history, given his volatility, is going to bring him in. A contending team?
Yep.
More likely than not, it's going to be a team of a Cleveland Browns caliber that's going to sign Dez. Dez only sees himself as Dez. For the longest time, he's been told, you're number one, you're number one. He was a number one the last couple of years, only in title only. He didn't play like a number one. And he's going to go, and teams know, he's going to come in there and think he's a number one again. You got to update your resume. That's what pro sports, that's what I love about pro sports, Skip. You say I'm this, I say I'm that. Somebody get to be right and wrong. There ain't no in between. I get to prove you right or you get to prove me wrong. Dez, man, you need to get somewhere. Now, a lot of this is pride because I'm turning deals down. I'm Dez, I'm good. I'm going to go to the idea. You had Baltimore, $7 million a year on the table, 3 years, $21 million.
Reportedly, you did.
But that's what, if you look at what all the free agent receivers got, with the exception of Cooks, all of those got that very similar number. You look at Crabtree, you look at Jordy Nelson, you look at what Baltimore had on the table for him, look at Allen Hurns. Most of those guys, with the exception, like I said, Brandon Cooks and the guy Robinson that went to Chicago.
Yep.
But all the rest of those guys got around that $6-7 million range. Dez, bruh.
So what do you always say about Carmelo Anthony? He still thinks he's mellow, and he's really just Carmelo, right?
Well, he's Desmond Bryant.
Well, he's the truth is he's just another Bryant. That's what he is. He's not Dez. He's just Bryant to me, because he played like just another Bryant last year. He led the league in drop passes. His body has betrayed him and broken down, and we didn't even talk about that with Odell. That's the other issue Odell's going to face, because you think he's a little fragile, and it just happens over time. You're just going to get hit. Dez took a whole bunch of hits because he doesn't have any Odell in him. He's just going to go up and get it, and you can hit him however you want to hit him.
Right.
And one thing led to another. He's got 19 things wrong with his body, and I don't know what his health is now at all, because he looked like a broken down receiver last year. He's had foot injuries and knee and back, and he's had everything go wrong. So to me, I really like the Browns. Now, again, it all hinges, and we agree on this, it hinges on a guy who can really play, Josh Gordon.
Yeah.
He has shown me Hall of Fame potential. I'm not saying he's a Hall of Famer, but I have seen bursts of Hall of Fame from Josh Gordon.
Special.
He can play.
He's special.
We're talking big and fast and hands, and he's got the whole package, but he's got some issues. So he's dealing with his issues again now, and he's had them throughout his whole career, dating back to high school. And yet, if he's back in the fold before game one and ready to go, and that's a big if, but all of a sudden, I'm looking at the most improved team in pro football with Jarvis Landry and Njoku at tight end, and they like that. I was surprised they let Corey Coleman go.
Well,
Really?
That was one of the picks that they got from Philly when they traded for Carson Wentz, and you traded first-round pick for a seventh. They must have just wanted him out of there, Skip.
Okay, I don't know. When we had Baker Mayfield here, he indicated he liked that kid from Florida they drafted, Antonio Callaway. He can fly.
But he's had his issues.
No, he has had his issues.
He's had a whole bunch
He played
of
football last year.
Yeah.
He was a fourth-round draft pick,
Okay.
so that
All right.
shows you he can
but
play.
my point is, this is starting to look like a loaded football team on both sides of the ball that's about to arrive. And if it arrives, they could have a shocking year. They could win 6 or 7 games and be like the big story of the year.
If I'm the Browns, this is why I don't want him. What did Stephen Jones say about Dak? Dez was constantly in Dak's ear.
He was.
Also, Jason Witten. Do you want to bring Dez in with a rookie quarterback and have him constantly in his ear? That's what you have to worry about. I mean, it's a blessing.
I can tell you what Baker Mayfield would say back to him, and it wouldn't be pretty.
And that's the thing. Sometimes, Skip, it's a blessing and a curse to have a young quarterback and a rookie and a veteran receiver. Like Peyton had Marvin Harrison. Well, Marvin's personality, I mean, he gonna want the ball, but he's not in
like
your
that.
face with
No,
it.
he wasn't. That's a good point.
So that's what the Browns, that's what you're going to have to deal with. That's the question, because you can't just think about, okay, yeah, we need a receiver. How's it going to mesh with your quarterback?
Well, to your point, the Bible says pride goeth before the fall, and pride is going before this fall, because clearly Dez is looking at Cleveland as he's only the emergency plan B in case Josh Gordon doesn't come back full speed and mentally right. Right?
He thinks that's beneath him.
Yep, it's beneath
that's
him.
what it is.
So he's looking. he wants somebody to say, "We need you to get over to take us over the top as a contending team," and I don't think that's going to be out there. The best bet was Baltimore, because Ozzie said, "I can do this for you," and Ozzie has a long history of reviving careers, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I went to Skip. True story. Me, I thought the same thing with Savannah State. I wasn't going to go to school because everybody else had rescinded their scholarship because I was Prop 48.
Yep.
My brother came home from the University of South Carolina, and he said, "You think Savannah State is beneath you, don't you?" He said, "Go for a year. you can always go to the military, Shannon. He said, go to Savannah State, and if you don't like it, say, you know what, I went, and it wasn't for me. Ta-da. 30 years later, Skip.
Hall of Fame.
Here I am.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
But the dads really think that, man, that play no Cleveland. Cleveland? Not Dez. Okay.
Yeah.
When does that start to sink in for him? You mentioned updating his resume. When does Dez
When they
realize
start playing
I'm
football in
different?
September.
Exactly, and he's still
It's
sitting
gonna
at
take that
home
long.
trying
Yeah.
to figure, oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, man, I should have went there. Oh, I should have went there.
And he see a receiver drop a ball or a guy get covered. Man, I could do that. I could have been. Nah, bro, you don't want to play with
Cleveland
Cleveland.
player, at the end of the day, all you want is a chance. I remember getting cut, and I'm like, man, having nowhere to go, and I'm telling my agents, man, I just want to play.
Right.
I don't care how much it is. I just want to play so I can prove that I can still play.
And who called?
I end up going back to Washington, playing for $1 million contract that year, end up balling out that season and signing a
Big deal.
3-4 year deal.
Wow.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, Dez should just be wanting to get on that football field and show people he can still play football.
Is Cleveland an NFL team?
They are.
Do they
an
pay their
NFL
players?
team.
As long as they couldn't, if that check gonna be in, I just got direct deposit a couple years ago, but I used to get that paper. If they gonna pay me, they gonna cash me out. Dez, you better go on up in there.
Yep.
Swallow that pride.
Because you can't show nobody that you can play sitting at home.
Yeah.
Oh, if he's sitting on that couch come September.
And you know what he should back off doing? Because I think NFL GMs follow what's happening. When he fires off like 60 tweets in a row, it's not a
social
good
media is
sign. It's like,
definitely
what are you doing?
Yeah.
What happened to you?
He's talking to people that's in no position to give him a job.
Yeah.
Those guys that he's talking to, oh yeah, Dez, you're right. They ain't got no team.
Yeah, and the people who are in position to give him a job are saying,
like, huh?
I don't know about this guy.
Man, you better go on out there and show you can play. If you believe you can, if you that dog, or Dallas made a mistake and they shouldn't have got rid of me, go prove it. It's easy to do. That's pro sport. It's a proven business.
Very easy.
If he's still sitting on that couch, though, come September, I feel like Cleveland's going to look like paradise, and he's going to go, oh, what could have been.
No, if I'm Cleveland, no, I'm good,
Could
cool.
have been. Yeah, Cleveland might not want him at that
Yeah,
point.
exactly.
Yeah, at some point, you just might lose interest. D'Angelo, thank you for joining us.
No mercy.
So the Patriots are running out of receivers. Yesterday, they released Malcolm Mitchell less than a week after they got rid of Jordan Matthews. And this offseason, they lost both Danny Amendola and Brandon Cooks. And don't forget, they'll play the first 4 games without the suspended Julian Edelman. Last week, Pro Football Focus ranked the Patriots receiving group as 14th in the NFL. Shannon, what is going on here?
That's 4 spots higher than Aaron Rodgers' receiving corps.
It wouldn't be now.
Whoa.
Well, that was-
I'm sure they factored that in. I'm
They
almost
did
certain they
not.
factored. Yeah, they factored it in. Skip, look, the Patriots have had some bad luck with the injury bug this offseason, especially at that position. And this is what we know about the Patriots. You might get 1 year injury, and you sit on the pine and not contribute. You're not going to get 2. And the guys that they released, look, Skip, they've had injury problems before. So Coach Belichick is taking, you say, play the odds. The odds are they're going to get injured again, miss time, not be able to contribute. I think Malcolm Mitchell had some injury issues with his knees coming out of college. That's probably why he slid in the draft. Now, his rookie year, Skip, he played really, really well. 6 catches for 70 yards in the Super Bowl?
The Atlanta Super Bowl, yeah.
Caught 2 touchdowns against Darrelle Revis 1 year. So he was on the uptick. But then the injury bug, and it's reported that he had a procedure a couple of weeks ago to try to release some of that tension, some of that pressure off his knees. So I'm not surprised, given the fact that he missed all of last year with an injury. He was nicked coming into camp. He's nicked now. Jordan Matthews has missed time in the past. Nicked again, pulled his hamstring. Coach Belichick's like, nah, the odds say you're going to be injured again. But the mere fact that they got Gronk makes them a top 10 offense receiving
I mean, he's
corps.
no Jimmy Graham, but he is Gronk. I'll give you that.
You know what's getting better.
You know what? Well, you told me how great Jimmy Graham. You said he's the greatest red zone target in pro football.
No. I said he's a great red zone target. Oh. You got to not go there.
set you up.
He just be trying to miss every word I say. He be trying. That's what you said. No, granted. And Julian Edelman. Now it's reported that he says I don't have my camp legs back. And it seems like as soon as he gets them back, he's going to have to go sit down, Skip, because he's going to miss the first 4 games. But it's hard for me to believe. And I get it. You look at these names, you look at Decker's been injured, but Decker had his best seasons when he played with Peyton Manning. Well, he has a guy better. You can make the case he's better than Peyton Manning, especially at this time.
Make the case.
No.
I mean, it's over us.
Skip, those 2 years. I'm talking about as an overall player, but for those 2 years that he was there, Peyton Manning was unbelievable. You know, his first 2 years, they might be the greatest 2 quarterback seasons we've ever seen in the regular season. So he played really well when he has a quarterback that knows what he's doing, knows where to go with the football. Chris Hogan, I know he's not a household name, but all he does is just make plays for him. You know, you saw what he did in the Super Bowl. You saw that playoff game, 2 years ago. He has the most receiving yards in a single playoff game in Patriots history.
Keep reaching. Come on.
Does he or does he not?
Keep trying, keep flailing.
Does he or does he not hold that record, Skip?
You have little to no respect for Chris Hogan, and now you're trying to put him on some pedestal like he's a near Pro Bowl player.
Is he Steve Largent? No. But he's a quality receiver, and it works for what they have going on in New England. Skip, you make it seem like you know what? It would be ideal for you if Tom Brady had Julio Jones, Antonio Brown, Rob Gronkowski, and Mike Evans. You'd be like, oh, that still ain't enough.
No,
Tom Brady.
It'd be over. It'd be Golden State. It'd be prohibitive. I mean, it would be a mismatch.
But that's
it would be not fair.
But you can't do that because of the salary.
He had all those guys rolled into one guy for one great year, 2007, and you saw what happened.
Yeah.
23 touchdowns to Randy Moss.
Okay. And you didn't say a word then. You was happy like, oh, that's unfair. Okay. So now he has Gronk. He has Gronk, who's everything, all these other receivers. He can run, great run after the catch. He'll block, great red zone target, big guy. Now, he does get nicked throughout the course of the year. He'll probably miss a game or two, but he's still going to give you double-digit touchdowns. He's still going to be somewhere around 900 to over 1,000 yards. So with just Gronk alone, they're top 10. So I don't want to hear anything. His receiving core is rated higher than Rodgers, so therefore.
Oh, okay. So it's my turn.
It's your turn.
It still appears to me, more and more so, that Bill Belichick is attempting to quietly sabotage Tom Brady's chances of winning a back-to-back MVP, because it appears to me he's trying to increase Tom's degree of difficulty and decrease his chances of succeeding at the highest level, because this is a bunch of junk here, man. I've never seen it quite like this. And again, to your point, Malcolm Mitchell had injury issues, but he was becoming a Tom Brady favorite after that Super Bowl. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And by the way, my guy Jordan Matthews from Vanderbilt University was becoming a Tom Brady favorite, because you know what happened on the Saturday before he was cut on Tuesday? Tom Brady ran all the way to the end zone after throwing Jordan Matthews a touchdown pass and hugged him. Carson Wentz loved Jordan Matthews. It was his all-time favorite receiver he'd ever played with, and it devastated him when they traded him. Remember?
So not Jordan Matthews, Randy Moss.
Okay, I'm not saying he's Randy Moss, but he was the best offseason addition as a potential number one target, number one wideout target for Tom Brady. He's gone. Cut. Brandon Cooks was that number one receiver. He was the deep speed. He's only 24 years of age, and Bill Belichick traded him away to the Rams, who immediately gave him 5 years, $81 million with $50 million guaranteed. Brandon Cooks.
Yeah.
They just said, here, we love you, we'll give you a big contract.
Right.
Why isn't he still a Patriot? I don't know. Danny Amendola got $6 million a year for 2 years, $6 million guaranteed of the 2 years to go to Miami. He's no longer a Patriot. He was probably Brady's favorite receiver, his go-to clutch receiver in the biggest moments. And you point out Julian Edelman, he's going to miss a whole season plus the first 4 games. That's not real good when you're 32 years of age, right?
No, I agree.
That's a lot of football to miss, and then you're going to go back to being Julian Edelman? I don't know. I hope so.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. You says as Tom Brady's degree of difficulty increases, so does his MVP chances, because I'm sure the voters will factor that in.
Oh, we need a narrative? New narrative. Tom Brady has no receivers.
Tom Brady always has the narrative because he's 41 years of age.
Okay.
He has the greatest built-in narrative that we've ever seen for a quarterback because he's playing in his 40s.
Okay.
People always will broach that he's 40. We've never seen a 40-year-old play like this. We've never seen a 41-year-old play like this. So we have the narrative already set. Plus now, as you mentioned, he let Danny Amendola go. He let Brandon Cooks go. He cut he cut Jordan Matthews. And
Malcolm
Mitchell. So you've already created a narrative that was there.
So listed as a starter for the New England Patriots at the wideout position as we speak is Cordell Patterson. He's a kick returner in his, sixth year?
Yeah.
He's a kick returner. He did make the Pro Bowl as a kick returner one year, but he's not a starting wide receiver. He never has been. And then the other starter is Chris Hogan, who's almost 30 years of age, who was once undrafted out of, where was it, Monmouth?
But
What?
you keep on talking about he was undrafted, but so what? He was undrafted. So it just goes to show you how good he was. Skip, people make mistakes. Drafting players is not an exact science. So
but remember, Julian Edelman once upon a time was a quarterback at Kent State, drafted in the 7th round.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And then Eric Decker. So they go sign Eric Decker. He's 31 and battered. He's beat all to hell to me. Hadn't he had one injury after another?
Yeah.
And it's not like he's not soft or, I'm not saying he's not durable. He just taken a lot of hits, man.
We're playing with those quarterbacks that don't know where to throw the ball for. You trying to make plays on the ball, yet it'll get you hurt.
Okay.
Tom Brady's going to put it right in the sweet spot. Deck will be fine.
Kenny Britt, almost 30 on his 4th team. Is he going to really contribute? I don't know.
You seem like almost 30 is almost 40.
Well, for receivers, it is.
No.
It is.
That's what I'm thinking.
I mean, you had to stop when you were 35, right?
They're almost 30.
Okay.
I was almost 36.
Okay, another backup. Philip Dorsett was considered a late first-round bust when he was in Indianapolis, and now I don't know. I thought he'd contribute more last year, but he didn't.
We don't have to consider. We know that's what he is.
Okay, all right. So look at this collection, and think of Brady's offensive line. It's a bunch of misfits and sort of spare parts. They lost their Pro Bowl left tackle. Nate Solder is now a New York Football Giant. He's protecting Eli's blind side.
But they got Williams.
Huh?
They got Williams now.
Yeah,
Williams.
okay.
He good, right?
I don't know. I don't know. These are all, they have to coach him up. He's never had the Dallas offensive line.
Scarnecchia, he's one of the best. They say he's one of the best offensive line coaches ever.
I got you.
So he get him right.
I don't know. I look at this. Green Bay's receiving corps is definitely better than
That's
this one.
not what Pro Football Focus
They
said.
didn't factor in the Malcolm Mitchell.
Yeah.
They didn't even factor it. They had Jordan Matthews on the team in that one. They did. Take those two out. Look at this. Julian Edelman's gone for 4 games. Certainly for the first 4 games, Aaron Rodgers is going to have better receivers.
I just got to go by what I read, Skip.
Well,
what I read is that
what you read was for a week old.
So now it's a week old.
Yeah, well, it was. Wasn't updated.
So
update. This is like the 25th best receiver.
So there's a possibility, by using your logic, there's a possibility or a probability that at the start of the season, the Packers could be even further down than what the Patriots are.
What are you predicting? Somebody's going to get hurt?
I'm not predicting anything. I'm saying I'm just using your logic.
Well,
they didn't factor in.
I'm doing it right now today. You would clearly, if I put you on a lie detector, you would say Aaron Rodgers' receivers are way better than Tom Brady's. You would, and you know it. Because Jimmy Graham at least levels the playing field with Gronkowski.
No.
He's at least in the same sentence with Gronkowski.
Skip, this is the way it works. Because you can go all the other positions and you can group a couple of guys. But when it comes to tight end, it's him by himself. Okay, and then you come to another room, and if you want to put Kelsey, you want to put Olsen, you want to put some of these other guys in there, they got their own little group. But this young man here, he by himself.
He's not that young anymore.
Well, he by himself. That old man right there?
Yeah.
He by himself.
By the way, was he not on the trading block according to many reports through the offseason? Wasn't Belichick trying to get rid of him too?
You only trade.
I don't know. What's going on here?
They trade gold and silver too. So what? You don't want none of that?
Well, it's like anything that helps Tom Brady look like Tom Brady. Get rid of him.
Stop it, Skip.
Brandon Cooks out of here.
I talked to Coach.
Right? Well, am I right? I'm serious. Nobody seems to be picking up on this. What's left? Cordell Patterson? You like that?
I saw Coach Belichick on Saturday.
You did.
Told him to say, Skip be hating.
Yeah. Did you
What
tell
was
him
his
that?
response?
He's like, I know.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I didn't say that.
You know
knows.
what? Belichick knows that I know.
No mercy.
ESPN.com projected the records of every NBA team next season using a stat called Real Plus Minus. They have the Lakers winning just 41 games and finishing 9th in the West. Sorry, Shannon. This is mostly because of all the new players in their rotation. Vegas has already set the Lakers over-under win total at 48.5. Shannon, what is your reaction to the Lakers being projected to win just 41 games?
Get that grin off your face. It's not funny.
I got to do the LeBron.
Okay, LeBron.
Can we do that again?
I disagree. Skip, you know good and well LeBron James is not about to go 41-41. He's only missed the playoffs twice.
I'll give you that's not going to happen, but go ahead.
In his first 2 years, he's only been below 500. That was his rookie season. They need to stop with this. They might want to readjust the model in which they used to come up with this. Now, I even disagree with Vegas because Vegas had them projected at 48.5 wins. I believe LeBron James is responsible just alone himself for 15 to 20. 15 puts him at 50, 20 puts him at 55. Think they're going to be somewhere 18.5, 19 games. Which will give me my 54 wins. I get it. But they make it seem like the Eastern Conference ain't great. Okay, it's the lesser of the two conferences. But they do play basketball over there. LeBron James didn't play all of his games. He did have to play some Western Conference teams. He did have to go on the road. Yeah. But damn, they make it seem like, well, he was in the East. He didn't play anybody from the West. He doesn't know what he's up against. Yes, he does.
He had to play him twice each.
He's been the best player in the league for over a decade. And what?
And he's going into his 16th season?
And going to keep giving it to him.
All right.
This is what I don't understand, Skip Bayless. So you mean to tell me you add the best player in all of basketball and you're only going to win 6 more games? Really? Is that what you're telling me? Because that's what they're saying. That's what this model is saying. No matter how great LeBron James is, he is, man, great. If I had
I wouldn't know that if it weren't for you, but go ahead.
Skip Bayless, do you know this? If I had 1,000 tongues, I couldn't say how great LeBron James is enough. Yeah. All time, historically great. GOAT great. Had a bunch of them out there in the yard in Idaho. You see somebody turn all them LeBron Jameses out? Like 150 LeBron Jameses in somebody's yard last week. Yeah.
Cloned them.
No, yeah. They're young. Coach is only in his 3rd year of head coaching experience. We're going to talk about him possibly being on the hot seat.
Okay.
I get it. Kuzma, somebody's going to have to come off the bench. You got Rondo. You got JaVale. You got Lance. You got Michael Beasley coming in there. You got a lot of different personalities. But you got the greatest chef, Skip. He's the only man that can take a whole bunch of stuff that don't go together and make it taste good. Watch what he does.
I will give you that. He will make it taste good. He will not make it taste great. And I'm going to remind you, Kevin Pelton, who did this analysis, is regarded as the expert when it comes to statistical, historical projections. So I'm going to put a lot of stock in this because his track record is very good here. And he initially, just right after LeBron was signed, or LeBron signed himself by knocking on Magic's door, he went 50 wins for the Lakers until they started adding Rondo, Beasley, Lance, JaVale. And then he concluded that no team was hit harder by the adjustment for players changing teams. That's what he's factoring in, because when you throw together that many new players, it's hard the first time around to develop the rapport and chemistry that's needed to win 50 games.
Boston did it.
Well, again, this is tricky because these are all difficult to coach players, which he's not factoring in. But he also points out that only 55% of the projected minutes will be played by returning players. That means the kids aren't going to get to play much. They're going to play half the minutes they played last year. If, in fact, if you're projecting these 4 to get their usual minutes, something's got to give. Kuzma's got to give.
You know good and well they're not going to get the use. Rondo is not going to be. Well,
I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. If he's starting, yes, he's going to get his normal minutes. JaVale McGee is going to get somewhere between 12 and 14. It's hard for me to believe that Lance Stevens is going to be playing upwards of 30 minutes a night. It's not going to happen. But Skip, if this the same Kevin Pelton that said LeBron James wasn't driving the basketball to the basket. He wasn't getting to the line as much as he once was.
I don't remember. Did he do that one?
I think he did that.
Okay,
article.
I'm not sure
and
he
there
did that one.
And there were some scouts that said that LeBron James had lost his first
Okay,
step.
but Kevin doesn't quote scouts. He just does numbers. There's no.
Well, he wrote that one because remember he said that's
I think
why
that was somebody else.
he didn't drive the ball as much because he didn't want to go to the free throw line.
Yeah, I think that was another guy, but I could be wrong. But whatever. The point is, in the end, he says that historically, a player's offense, a star's offense, will fall some when he changes teams. It's just historical. Now, LeBron has shattered a lot of molds.
Yeah!
I get that. And last year, I gave you this. He had his best offensive year overall last year because he was smarter than ever, obviously more experienced than ever. He could see the floor better, anticipate the floor better than he ever had. And then he scored the basketball at a pace that was just staggering to me. So I give you that. But can he live up to that on a whole new team with a whole new dynamic?
He might average a triple-dub, Skip.
Well,
Basket's
I'm sure he'd like to.
Basket's going to be a lot easier because he got guys that he can give it to them and they can finish. He don't have to spot up shoot them. He can give them in one dribble to the basket.
So I will give you the offense. I don't give you anything on defense. This team
He didn't factor that in.
Okay, he didn't, but it's going to be. I'm factoring it in because these teams you're up against all play good to great defense. This team is going to be the most defensively challenged team in the entire Western Conference. Book it.
Nope.
Book it, it will.
Nope.
It's going to have to beat you on offense. If it can outscore you, that's fine. But to get to your 55 wins, which you project.
40, 54.
55 wins. It keeps spilling out of your mouth. 55 wins. To get to your 55 that you keep throwing out there, 54 or 55. So I'm going to go with 55.
No.
To get to 55, they're going to have to average some insane amount of points, 120 points. I don't know. They're going to have to be way up there.
It'll be about 110.
110? Well, they're going to have to because they're going to have to outscore these teams because they're going to give up a lot of points because everybody they added has their issues on the defensive end.
Lance plays defense.
He'll in spots if he gets a challenge, like go bother LeBron. He'll go bother LeBron.
JaVale will rim protect.
He can, but he sort of comes and goes with his focus and effort. It'll come and go.
We just need him to come more than he goes.
Okay.
We'll be just fine.
Maybe. And LeBron will help in that regard. But now let's look at what Kevin Pelton projects for other teams that you keep discounting, if not just completely poo-pooing when I throw them out. Guess who he's got second to Golden State?
Exactly.
Utah.
Exactly.
What have I been telling you? Utah's way better than you think.
No, they're not.
Utah will only get better because Donovan Mitchell will only get better. Rudy Gobert was the player of the year, the defensive player of the year. You don't think that team plays defense?
They play defense.
Good luck.
Good luck scoring.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have problem scoring.
So they're ranked second, and that's above Houston, who's third. What I keep telling you about the Denver Nuggets, you liked them last year. You had Isaiah Thomas, who had some flashes of brilliance down the stretch with the Lakers. Then he got fixed, and I assume he's going to be relatively healthy.
Didn't you see what LeBron and the Cavs did to the Nuggets? So imagine what LeBron.
Yeah, but I saw what the Nuggets did to Golden State one night too.
Yeah,
They're capable of just obliterating people.
On a given night, any team can beat any other team. But over the course of the regular season, Skip Bayless, LeBron James. And see, you keep trying to get me. I said LeBron James is responsible between 15 and 20 wins. 15 wins from last year, give them 50. 20 wins will give them 55. So somewhere in between there.
Well, you're saying 20.
That's not.
Well, you keep spitting out 55 because you want to be able to say, I told you so, 55.
No, I told. When they get over 50, I'm going to say I told you so. They hit 54. Man, I might come in this thing with a party hat on.
Oh, you might.
Yeah.
Party.
Chippendale.
You'd have a goat mask on your face and on your feet and everywhere.
You know
else,
what,
right?
Skip? Did you see the shirt? They got a LeBron James, LeBron, and then they got a goat head in the O.
Yeah.
I want my cut.
Interesting. So now we get to the fifth team in the West in Kevin Pelton's projections, and it's Minnesota, a team he used to love and jumped completely off the bandwagon because it scares him.
Gone.
The bandwagon is in the way of the Kings' new team.
No,
but the
Andrew Wiggins
bandwagon
is in the way.
Okay, the bandwagon is still rolling in Minnesota, where nothing changed. They're all the same. The coach is the same. The players are the same. They made the playoffs last year.
The same, and so, but exactly. But
Karl Anthony Towns will just get better next year.
But here's the thing: they lose Jamal Crawford, they lose bench production. I just don't see it. I just don't see. And he grinds them down.
Okay. fifth. He does grind them down, but they also play defense.
They play defense, but
okay.
they become challenged.
So I like Oklahoma City a lot more than this, and the Vegas odds maker who spoke for their piece the other day was saying that Oklahoma City is better by subtraction, which is what I told you. To lose Melo and add Robertson back on defense, it just helps them. But he's got them 6. Well, you still got to deal with them. You still got to deal with New Orleans because New Orleans, again, Julius Randle was a Laker and now he's a Pelican.
Yeah.
And they took off when they added Mirotic and lost Boogie.
Right.
And they lost Rondo, and I give it, Steven Jackson made a strong point yesterday. We're going to have him on the show here in just a little bit. But he made a strong point. That's a lot to lose in Rondo. But Drew Holiday, he's an all-star.
Right.
That's a really good team. And Anthony Davis will only get a little better next year. And he's pretty good already.
28-11 good.
Okay, so he's entering his prime right now. So they're 7th in the projections. And then I keep telling you, Portland's 8th in the final playoff spot. They won 49 games last year. And the Vegas over-under is 41.5. Well, look at the log jam at the bottom of the West. My Spurs, not ranked here, not projected in the playoffs. Lakers, not projected in the playoffs.
They will be.
Okay, but I've got the Lakers 8th, and you're going to be in trouble because there are just too many teams for too few spots. This is something you've never had to deal with before.
Which one of those?
Welcome to the West.
Which one of those teams that you just mentioned has LeBron James on it?
None of them.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
So, therefore, they're not going to be better than his team.
How many of these other teams have Rondo and Lance and Beasley and JaVale? How many teams have those guys?
We're going to
None.
be okay. We're going to be okay.
How many of these other teams are coached by Luke Walton? None of them.
LeBron James? Yeah. LeBron James is a great coach.
How many of these teams have LeVar Ball hanging over them from night to night? None of them.
You hadn't heard LeVar say anything in the last 2 weeks.
Who is the hardest? 2 weeks. Way to go.
Yay.
Who's the hardest player to play with in all of basketball? LeBron James.
It's
He
easy.
is.
No.
Oh, you told me it's hard. You told me last year. Hardest guy to play
the
with.
pressure that
I
comes
know.
with it because
Thank
nothing
you.
less than finals and winning is accepted. But he makes your job so easy. He's going to give you a catchable ball, 2 dribbles, you at the rim. Where you wanted it? Where you wanted the
That
pocket?
sounds like Lonzo Ball to me.
See, having a good conversation. Good old conversation.
Gets in there quick.
Gotcha.
Just like, Jenny, you don't remember this. But Skip, you remember. You used to have the party. They have the DJ going on, and then somebody bumped the turntable.
I don't remember that.
Hey!
I'm sorry. I mean, he wanted to have the last word there.
No mercy.
How about we talk about the Eastern Conference? The Celtics over-under was set at 57.5 wins by Westgate. That's top in the East. Boston is 3 games better than both the Raptors, who added Kawhi Leonard, and the Sixers, who were eliminated by Boston in the playoffs. So Steven Jackson is still here with us, but I'm going to start with Shannon on this. Do you agree with these numbers?
Nope. I got Boston winning more than 57 games.
Okay.
Boston's going to be around 60. It's hard for me to believe, Skip. They won 55 without Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward played 2 minutes. Kyrie Irving missed, the last 20-25 ball game. It's hard-pressed for me to believe that they're going to only win 2 more games than what they won last year. They will be in the 60s. I do believe Philly will be the second-best team in the Eastern Conference. I'm going to put that – I can live with that number, 50, 54, 55 wins. I can live with that. I think Toronto with Kawhi. Kawhi's a better player than DeMar DeRozan.
If he wants to play.
He wants to play. He happy. He want to be up out of there. He didn't want to play for you guys anymore. Broccoli, board, Riverwalk, nothing going on.
I don't think that's what he said, but go ahead.
He said he's like, I don't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Okay.
But anyway, Boston will win at least 60 games. You want to put some dew on that?
Nope.
Come on, Skip. Why you scared?
I'm about to
Surprise.
make you a bet.
Okay.
Tell me when it's my turn.
Okay, well, I got Boston going to win 60 games. I'll say Philly will win 55, 56 games, and Toronto will be the 3rd seed at 53 games.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I definitely think Boston will win 55, 60 games. I don't think it will be even close in the East. Kawhi's in Toronto, of course, but he can't go at Tatum, Brown, and go at
Kyrie.
He can't go at everybody. And they're not a great defense team. Yeah, they have Serge Ibaka, he's good, but they're going to need a lot of help in Toronto, but Kawhi will make them better. I love Philadelphia, but I just don't see that dynamic coming together where they can come out the East yet. I don't think they're ready. I think Boston is a favorite by a landslide. But the other teams will be better. Like I said, Toronto will be better with Kawhi, but Boston, the team that they put together, just too talented.
They're too much depth.
They're adding the 2 best players are coming back. So, but I really, like I told him, I think Tatum will be a top 10 player this year, and having him on this team, coming back with the year he had and the playoffs he had, this team is going to run the East by far.
I reserve the right to change this pick as we get toward the real season.
I reserve the right.
Well,
Nice.
Because this is right here, right now. Philly is coming out of the East. Philly will be a better overall basketball team than Boston.
Coming out of nowhere.
Wow.
The Boston Celtics are about to have a Lakers-type problem. Brad Stevens, who is not on the hot seat, is going to have a seat that will get hotter and hotter through the year because that's going to be a hard team to coach because it was a pretty good team, if not just a good team last year, and all of a sudden you're bringing Kyrie and Gordon Hayward into that mix, and only 5 get to play at once, and there's only 1 basketball, and Jason Tatum thinks he's now a star, which he's on the verge of being, and Jaylen Brown thinks he's pretty good.
He thinks he's a star, too.
Yeah, I think he thinks he's a star.
Kyrie says,
Hey, and Terry Rozier last year, I think he started to think, I got star quality in me because I took over some playoff games, right?
He's a starter.
And all of a sudden, Kyrie comes back and says, no, it's my team. And Gordon Hayward says, wait a second, a year ago, I was an all-star in Utah, so I'm going to start and play big. I'm going to play 35 minutes a night, or at least that's what I think he thinks he's going to do here because he's got all the money. He's the one getting paid, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to do what with Jaylen Brown? And you're going to do what with Jason Tatum? And you're going to do what with Marcus Smart and Marcus Morris and Rozier? I don't know. I don't know how you keep them all happy. I don't know. Maybe it's a good problem to have, but the pieces don't fit the way they fit in Philadelphia.
It's only for 1 year. Kyrie gone after this.
Okay.
Kyrie wanted a situation where he could be the guy.
Okay.
But I keep telling you, sometimes you can make your destiny on the very road you took to avoid it. Now, Boston didn't have anybody. They didn't know Jason Tatum was going to be this. And then in the playoffs with Kyrie absent, now he got confidence. That dude been out there working with Kobe. Now, you know Kobe in his ear. Kobe telling him, hey, bro, you need to get them. You need to get 20 shots up.
So, Kobe, what would happen if I get double teamed? Shoot it.
Shoot it. Hey, most guys would tell you, Magic would say pass out of the double team. Kobe say shoot over the double team.
Right.
I can't get used to Kobe helping a Celtic, but that's just a whole nother.
Yeah, and a lot of people didn't like that, too. A lot of people, they felt like he should have been working out with the Lakers guys.
Yeah, okay. So, the best player in the East right now that LeBron is gone, is Joel Embiid. He just is, on both ends of the floor. The most dominating, most valuable player in the East. It's not Kawhi Leonard.
Whoa, Skip, hold on, time out. No, Skip, no.
This guy is 7 feet tall, and he can shoot threes. He can shoot any kind of shot you want to shoot, and he can rim protect like a madman.
And he can handle it.
He's got it all. And I got to tell you, I think maybe Philly has 2 better players than anybody on this Boston roster, and I love all these kids. I love all of it. I love Kyrie. But Ben Simmons
not better than Kyrie.
I don't know.
I know.
No.
I think if you did a poll of GMs, I think Ben Simmons would be way up there. I think it'd be real close.
He has a high upside. He could be better than Kyrie. He could be better than Kawhi, but not yet.
Stacks. This is what this you see this man. You see how Skip.
This man is spitting truth.
No, you ain't spitting no back. You told now. Hold on. How is Joel Embiid the best player in the East when Kawhi Leonard, one guy told me that he was better than LeBron, that Kawhi was the best player in the NBA. Now he goes to the East, and now he's behind Joel Embiid.
It's about happiness.
He happy. He up out of San Antonio.
Yeah, he the North now, but he's way up there in the North, right?
He said, you know what? This
you gonna be happy up there? I don't know.
Haven't you have a flight you had to lay over?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody want a direct shot.
It's a layover.
Everybody want to go straight to the Lakers.
Is he going to play like it's a layover? Yep.
But to touch on what you was talking about with Boston, with the heavy roster they got, I think that's one thing that we gave Brad Stevenson on credit for last year, was to have a roster that was beat up but still have a lot of talent and able to get guys to buy in, not come in and try to be the star, not come in and replace Kyrie, but to come in and just to buy into the team.
That's a question of who will play, not a question of who won't play.
But what I'm saying is, I think Brad Stevens is going to do a great job of keeping those guys together and having a solid 8-man rotation where guys understand their roles. Coaches that sit down with players and tell them their roles before the season, don't really have too many problems during the season because it's already understood what I expect from you.
Do I have to remind you, J.J. Redick is back in Philadelphia, and he can just flat out shoot. I'm not sure there's a better pure three-point stroker than that guy. I know Steph is way up there, but this guy, when he gets going, he's right there with Steph and Clay.
He's one of my favorite teammates, too.
Ooh, really?
Yes,
okay,
J.J. Redick. I love J.J. Redick.
All right, and then do I have to remind you that Robert Covington was one of the top defenders in
Yeah.
the league? He's top 5 in defensive win shares. And then Dario Saric, he's sort of the odd man out, but he looks like he's a player to me. What is he, like 6'9"?
Yeah.
Can play both ways? I don't know. And then look at they added Wilson Chandler.
That's
Markelle,
I like that
is
pickup.
Markelle Fultz ever going to turn into that guy?
They say he's going
First
to build
pick?
that shot. They say you got to
Okay.
be sure that thing looking
What if
good.
he did?
So that thing looking good, Stack.
Yeah, this is
hey.
a better team. The pieces fit on this team. Amir Johnson, T.J. McConnell. I like the pieces here for this team. This is going to be a better basketball team than Boston.
Boston going to win between 60 and 65 games.
Yeah.
Watch it.
Folks couldn't hit a house if he was in the kitchen last year. I got to see this.
He got that shot get right, though.
I got to see it.
We will see. Steven, thank you for joining us.
No mercy.
Thank you as always for listening to the Undisputed podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports. One of one.